Our ways to calm your mind in stressful times. When you're calm, you also manage your energy because you're not burning yourself up constantly, spending your days with your sympathetic nervous system in overdrive. Calm helps you focus on what you need to do and get it done much more quickly. Calmness can also impact your creativity. Research suggests that our most creative ideas come in moments when we are not actively focused or stressed. We are most creative when our brain is in alpha wave mode, which is a relaxed state of mind, like when you're in the shower or taking a walk in nature. Indeed, people who go on an immersive nature retreat for 4 days come back with 50% increased creativity. If you want to get the most out of yourself in terms of your productivity, creativity, and innovation, making progress at work or just solving the basic problems of life that you're faced with, calm is the key. How to cultivate a calm state of mind? We know how to become stressed. Most of us are really good at activating our adrenal system and getting wound up. The question becomes, then, how do you wind down? Research suggests several practices that not only feel good but also put us into a calmer, more relaxed state, a state from which we can cope better with whatever life throws at us. 1. Breathing. Our breathing is a powerful way for us to regulate our emotions, and it is something we take for granted. Through your breath, you can activate your parasympathetic nervous system, the calming response in your body. Using your breath, you can change how you feel. In another study, researchers observed people feeling different emotions and found that there was a different pattern of breath for each one. Then, they gave other people different breathing patterns to perform and asked them, "How do you feel?" It turned out that doing those breathing exercises actually evoked emotions. One of the most calming breathing exercises you can do is to breathe in, for example, to a count of 4, hold, and then breathe out for up to twice as long, for example, to a count of 6 or 8. You can gently constrict your throat, making a sound like the ocean, which is used in deep relaxation breathing. As you're doing this, especially thanks to those long exhales, you're activating the parasympathetic nervous system, reducing your heart rate and blood pressure. 2. Self-compassion. Often we are our worst critic. We think that being self-critical will help us be more self-aware and make us work harder, but that's a myth. In fact, according to a good deal of research, self-criticism destroys our resilience. We are less able to learn from our mistakes when we beat ourselves up. Self-critical people tend to have greater anxiety and depression, and an inability to bounce back from struggles. Imagine someone running a marathon for the very first time in their life, and they trip and fall. Someone on the sidelines says, "You're a loser, you're so not a runner. What are you doing here? Go home." That person is our internal, self-critical voice. Self-compassion is somebody on the other side, who says, "Everybody falls, this is normal. You are so awesome, you're totally killing this." Self-compassion is the ability to be mindful of your emotions, aware of the emotions that are going on inside whenever you fail at something. It doesn't mean you identify with them, you can just observe and notice them, without feeding the fire. Self-compassion also involves understanding that everyone makes mistakes and that it's part of being human. And it is the ability to speak to yourself the way you would speak to a friend who just failed, warmly and kindly. When we adopt this attitude, research suggests, we are calmer, we have less feelings of stress as well as lower cortisol levels. We are also more resilient, we are less afraid of failure, and more motivated to improve ourselves. 3. Connection. How often are we actually present for another person 100%? When was the last time somebody was 100% present with you, even your spouse? There's a loneliness epidemic in the United States and across the world. We know that those feelings of loneliness are extremely destructive to our body and mind, leading to worse health and even earlier death. And the stress and lack of calm in today's world may contribute to this loneliness because of the way that it tends to make us self-focused. Our greatest human need, after food and shelter, is to connect with other people in a positive way. From the moment we are born until our last day, we have a deep and profound longing to belong to one another. And when we fulfill that need, it brings us more calm. The oxytocin and natural opioids that we release when we connect may exert a calming influence on our bodies, and the knowledge that we have the support of others can soothe our minds. When we face adversity, research suggests that our relationships and community have an important role to play in our resilience. 4. Compassion for others. Imagine a day when things aren't going well for you, you spilled your coffee on yourself, and it's raining. And then a friend calls who's having a true emergency in their life, and you jump up and go help them immediately. What happens to your state of mind in that moment? All of a sudden you have high energy, you're completely at their service. That is what practicing altruism, service, and compassion does to your life. It increases your well-being tremendously, as many of us have experienced when we perform little acts of kindness. When we feel compassion, our heart rate goes down and our parasympathetic nervous system is more activated. Kindness and compassion can also help protect us from adversity. In one of my favorite studies, researchers found that people who had been through traumatic life situations had a shorter lifespan. But among these participants, there was a small group of people who just seemed to keep on living. What was going on with these people? When the researchers dug a little deeper, they found that they were all engaged in helping friends and family in their life, from assisting with transportation or shopping to housework and childcare. Service is one of the most profound ways to nourish the community around you, but also to nourish, inspire, and energize yourself. It's like that children's book, when you fill someone's bucket, it also fills yours. Cultivating calm isn't about avoiding every kind of stressful emotion. In fact, when we make time to breathe, connect, and care, some of the negative feelings we've been running from might catch up with us. But that's the time for self-compassion. It's okay to feel bad. Resilience doesn't mean that we'll be happy all the time, but it does mean we have the energy, the mindset, and the support from others to help us weather the storm.